Welcome to my natural foundation routine video. I'm one of those people who always wants their foundation, their blush, their contour, all of that sort of stuff to look as natural as possible. I like to have bold eyes, bold lips, and everything else looking natural and flawless. Basically, I just want to look like I have good skin, with a little bit of contour and a little bit of blush. So yeah, that's what you're going to get out of this video. To preface this video, it's important to know your skin type. And once you know your skin type, you can work out what kinds of foundations are going to work best for you. So, for example, I have really super dry skin, so I need a hydrating foundation. I need one with oil in it. So any foundation that says oil-free is not going to work for you if you have really dry skin. You just need that oil because your skin doesn't produce enough of its own. But of course, if you have oily skin, then an oil-free foundation is definitely going to be worth trying for you. Oil-free foundations and mattifying foundations, they're going to last longer on your skin than a foundation that isn't mattifying and that has oil in it before your skin starts to look really oily. If you have combination skin, a lot of people with combination skin actually mix foundations, you know, so they want something that's going to mattify the oily parts of their face and hydrate the dry parts of their face. So you can mix two different foundations if you want aspects of them both. Mixing foundations is becoming a very popular thing to do because it works so well for so many people. But the foundations I'm going to use today, of course, are ones that work well for my skin, so if you have really dry skin, this is going to be a great video for you to watch. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. This is my first ever tutorial as well, so please be nice. I hope it turns out well. I really hope. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the things that you're gonna need to get started are a makeup sponge. In my case, my favorite one of all time is definitely the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, I think it's called. This little orange one. Next thing you're gonna need is a nice powder brush, and this is one of the new Nude by Nature ones. It's their number 5 finishing brush, and oh my god, these are so gorgeous. They're so soft. This is like puppy fuzz. The next thing you're going to need is either a color correcting palette or color correcting singles. My favorite one at the moment is from Models Prefer, and it's their CC Unbelievable Color Correcting Palette. It's this little one here. The next product you're going to need is a really nice concealer. It's probably going to take some trial and error to find one that works best for your skin. My favorite one at the moment is a high-end one. And I saved up for this because I really wanted to try it. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and the shade I have is Light 1 Chantilly. Of course, the palest one. The great thing about this though is that it's actually brightening on my skin. Like, it's actually pale enough that it's lighter than my skin tone, which is exactly what I want out of it, because I mean, you can probably tell my skin looks pretty dull at the moment. A brightening concealer can really help to just sort of make you look a bit more alive. It's going to highlight under your eyes and bring everything forward and, yeah, just make you look a bit brighter. Having said that, you don't want to go too many shades lighter than your natural skin tone because it'll just end up looking way too contrasted. I'd say probably 1 or 2 shades is going to be fine for most people, but any more than that and it's going to start to look quite unnatural, which is going to defeat the point in what we're trying to achieve here. The second last thing that you're going to need is a nice finishing powder, and one I've been using lately and really enjoying actually is from Models Prefer again. It's their Finale Finishing Powder Compact. The packaging looks like that. Lastly, of course, is foundation. And of course this is going to be the most important component of this whole thing. My 3 go-to foundations are my holy grail, of course, the Stila Aqua Glow Serum Foundation, this one here. Oh, it's so lovely. This stuff is amazing for dry skin. It's just so luxurious and comfortable, and you can build it up to a really decent level of coverage as well without it getting cakey or looking really obvious on your skin. The second favorite is one that I've used for a long time now. It's the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, this one here. This is definitely more on the sheer side, so this is great for days when, if I had a BB cream that worked for me, I'd probably wear that. It's another one that's really good for dry skin, but I think this would work really well for combination skin as well, and if you had a mattifying primer, people with oily skin could wear it as well. The third one is from Maybelline, so it's a drugstore foundation. Yeah, I've tried a lot of drugstore foundations, and they're all either not pale enough for me, or they cling to my dry patches and make my skin flaky, or you know, or they cake up on me, because with dry skin that's more likely to happen. But this one is gorgeous. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth foundation for normal to dry skin. This is one of those great foundations that you can sheer out or build up. But of course, foundations like concealers, there is going to be a fair amount of trial and error finding one that works best for you. These are just the ones that work best for me, and I definitely recommend them for people with really dry skin. I almost forgot to mention as well, it's important to have a primer, especially if you're going for a really natural look, because primers can add all kinds of different things to your complexion. The one I'm using today, I can't actually remember the proper name of because mine isn't in English, but it's this one. It's the Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. The shade I have is Cool Rose, and this one's, I think it's called Fatigue Blur or something like that. It's supposed to add radiance to your skin, and evidently I kind of need that today. Caffeination, oh my god. I need this so badly today. Okay, time to get started. Off with the glasses. Oh god, I'm blind as a bat. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is start off with your color correcting palette or singles. Now, color correcting is a big thing at the moment. It's like the current big thing in makeup, and you know, that's because it works so well, frankly. Okay, so color correcting works based on the color wheel. So whatever color it is that you want to correct, like say, you know, blue dark circles under your eyes, you want to go to the opposite side of the color wheel to find a color to cancel it out. So this one's great because it has both a salmon pink color here and a yellow color under here. And the reason it's good to have both of those in the same palette is that if you have blue dark circles under your eyes, you want to use the salmon pink color. If you have purple dark circles under your eyes, which is less common, but you know, I mean, plenty of people have them, then you want to go for yellow. So in my case, mine are more blue, so I'd go for the salmon pink one. If you have darker skin, then you want to go for a stronger color. So, you know, because you want to make it blur into the color of your skin around it. So, you know, the darker your skin, you want to go for a stronger color corrector. But in my case, this one is perfect, and this would be great for basically light to medium skin tones, and especially very, very fair people, of course. I'm going to grab my mirror and have at it. If I come a bit closer, you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. So you just want to dab it all around that area. The idea is to cover this as thoroughly as possible. It's also important to take it up into this inner bit here. I always used to forget this little area, and it became really noticeable. Okay, once you've done that, it's really important to blend out the edges because you don't want anything to peek through. The next color that we're going to look at is green, and of course green cancels out red. So for me, the redness I want to cover up is between here and either side of my nose. So you just get a little bit of that on your finger and dab it wherever you want to cover redness. A lot of women get redness down the sides here. It's a hormonal thing. But the whole idea in using color correctors before you use anything else is that by using color correctors, you then don't need to use as much concealer and foundation. So it doesn't look as cakey and it looks a lot more natural. Green is also the color that you'd use to cover up any blemishes that show up red. And that peachy salmon color you would use to cover up any sort of dark marks like acne scarring and that sort of thing that shows up darker than your natural skin tone. And I just want to put a little bit of green on my chin because, again, it's another one of those hormonal things. Yeah, red chin, yay. Because that looks great when the rest of your face is, you know, all flawless and lovely and foundation-y and stuff. I didn't realize I was completely out of frame there, but you can see the difference this makes already. Like, my dark circles look so much better, the redness around here is gone, my chin looks normal, and there's just that little bit between my eyes that I wanted to get as well. Of course, if you're doing between your eyes, you want to make sure it's a really thin layer, because your face is so expressive in that area, it will crinkle up during the day if you're not careful. Okay, next up is foundation. So I'm going to use my Stila Aqua Glow foundation today. Okay, some people like to take it on their finger and then dab it on and then blend it out. Honestly, I just put it straight on the sponge like that and then dab it onto my skin. you can see that with the sponge you get a really nice thin layer. And if you want to go back and add more coverage, you can do that. You can just go back and add another layer. Because a lot of people forget that the point in foundation isn't to cover everything. It's just to even out your skin tone. You have other products to cover things, you know, like color correctors and concealers. And of course, I'm not putting a whole lot of foundation up under my eyes. I'm avoiding that area because that's where my concealer's going to go. And the more products you layer, the thicker everything's going to look. I really do love how natural this sponge makes my foundation look. It just blends it into my skin so nicely. And of course, you can see I'm just patting with the sponge. If you drag with it, it'll sheer out your foundation more. You can do that. It's another way you can use it. But obviously, like I said, it'll sheer out your foundation more. And when you put foundation on, you always want to bring it just under here as well. You don't need to bring it all the way down your neck unless you're working with a color that's not quite matched to the color of your neck. But, you know, if it's a good match, then you just want to bring it down here just so that you don't have that line along there. And when it comes to finding the right foundation shade for your face, you don't want to match it to the back of your hand. That's a really common mistake. What you want to do is match it to the color of your neck. So, you know, if you're at a store and you're trying to find the right foundation shade for you and there are testers there, then you want to dab the testers here. So, you know, like just 1, 2, 3, however many it is that you're trying out, and make sure that they match your neck, because you run into problems when your face ends up a different color from the rest of you, and it's most obvious when it's contrasted to your neck. So that's what you want to match it to. If you're looking at a foundation and they don't have testers, then it's always good if you have a foundation at home that matches you perfectly, or even a concealer that matches you perfectly. Take that with you and then hold it up against the bottles that you're looking at so that you can see whether the shade looks the same, and at least you've got a better shot of finding one that matches you well. Because of course sometimes it'll look one color in the bottle and then when you apply it, it shears out differently. So, you know, it's not a foolproof method, but it is something that can help you find the right shade. It's also a good idea to bring it onto your ears. That's something a lot of people miss out, and then during the day, as you get hot and flustered, you know, in the summer, your ears get red and it's really noticeable. Okay, so for me, that's enough foundation. That's me done. And you can see how natural this looks. Like, it doesn't look like I have a ton of makeup on, you know, and it's matched to my neck really nicely. It feels really comfortable as well because I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. It just, to me, feels like I'm wearing moisturizer right now. The next thing that we're gonna do is concealer. And this is just to completely cover up any discoloration under here, and because this one's a little brighter than my skin tone, I'm going to use it to brighten down my nose as well and cover up down here. What you want to do with the concealer under your eyes is take it out like that and then make a triangle, because if you only cover the areas that you have dark circles, then that's going to stand out as looking a different color to the rest of your face. And of course, like I said before, you got to remember that little inner bit there. If you have that triangle shape, it brings that whole area forward. It makes your cheeks look a bit plumper and it makes your face look a bit more luminous. So the best way to blend out concealer is, again, with this gorgeous makeup sponge. So you just want to dab it once again. If you have a lot of creases under your eye, then I'm gonna link a great video down below from a YouTuber called Amina, and she's awesome. Like, she's so cool, and I love watching her videos because they're so full of good juju. But yeah, she has a great tutorial on how to apply this kind of concealer when you have a lot of creasing under your eyes. If you're using this particular sponge, I also find it's really great for doing that little inner area here. The easiest way I've found to do that little inner corner is to turn it like this, so you've got that flat side facing your eye, and then use the bulge here to fit right into that little nook. Okay, then when you do these little bits here, because again that's an area where you have a lot of expression in your face, less is always more. With this one, I'm just going to use that point, like I said, and bring it up around that little area, and then down into that little crease. And then there's that last bit. I just put a line straight down the middle of my nose, and a lot of people will put concealer sort of in a little triangle shape here as well to brighten the middle of their forehead, and some on the chin if you want to bring that forward as well, and that can look really nice. I just don't find it works for my face shape. Okay, now the last step before we move on to actually adding some color back into our face is that finishing powder. And it's really important to do this if you want to put blush, contour, bronzer, that kind of thing on over the top if you're using powders. If you're using cream contours, cream blushes, you want to put those on first, because putting cream over powder, everything can kind of clump up. So in my case, I'm going to be using powder blush and powder contour, so I will put my finishing powder on first. And you just want to get this gorgeous big fluffy brush, add a little bit onto it, tap it off so that you don't have too much excess, and then just gently swirl it over your skin. So I'm not buffing it, I'm just gently swirling it. And a big fluffy brush like this spreads the powder out really nicely, so you don't end up with some bits that are thicker than others or anything like that. And the most important place to set with this stuff is wherever you put concealer, because otherwise the concealer is going to crease throughout the day with your facial expressions. You'll be able to tell if you have enough powder on because your foundation and your concealer, where you've put it, will not look glossy anymore. It'll look matte. So that's a good way to tell if you've got enough powder over your concealer. Okay, now's the point where you can add anything else that you want. Now that you've got a flat, natural looking base, you want to add some color back into your skin so that you look alive, you know? It's also a good idea to do your eyes and your brows first and decide what kind of lip color you want to wear, and then do your contour and your blush, because you want to make your blush match everything else. That's what's going to tie everything together. So I'm going to go do my eye makeup, my brows, decide on a lip color, and I will be back when that's done. And there we go. So before I put my mascara on, the reason that I haven't done it yet is because when you've added powder and you've got all these layers on, it can tend to look a bit crepey, and that's what I've got at the moment. The best way to get rid of that is with a really nice setting spray. So I'm going to show you some more affordable options, and then one that I'm trying out at the moment, which is the one I'm going to use today. The first one is the cheapest, and it's from Mario Badescu. You can get this range at Mecca Maxima in Australia. I think it's available in Sephora in the United States and Canada, I think. It's the facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water, and it looks like this. And it's $9 in Australia. Yeah. And of course it's got all of that lovely stuff added that's going to be really nice and really good for your skin. So this is a great, really hydrating option. So if you have dry skin, this is a really good one to try. Personally, I tend to react a little to rose water, so I've had to stop using this, which is really sad because it gives you a really nice result. You know, it just gets rid of that powdery appearance. Everything sort of melds together really nicely. I'm definitely going to be passing this on to a friend, but yeah, this is a really, really good option, and again, really affordable. The other one I really like is from NYX, and it's their Dewy Finish long-lasting setting spray, this one here. They do a matte version as well for people with oily skin. That one still gives you a really good result, but it has a mattifying effect, so it's going to stop your skin looking oily, and it can take away some of the dewiness of the look that you've achieved already. So if that's what you're going for, then I would still go for this one and just make sure you have a really mattifying primer. For a dewy finish, this one is gorgeous. It's so lovely, and it definitely extends the wear time of my makeup, which the rose water one doesn't, because it's not designed to. You know, it's good as a finishing spray, but that's not its main purpose, if you see what I mean. It's not going to make your makeup last longer, whereas this one does. The one I'm using today is from Urban Decay. The full size of this one is really expensive, but they had a little sample size one that has 30 mils of product in it. And I think this one was about $28, so it's still pricey, but for something I'm only going to use every now and then if I do like it, you know, it's worth the money. It's the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray, and it says long lasting on the front. This has the reputation of making your makeup last longer than any other setting spray on the market. It also has that effect of, you know, melding everything together so that you don't see visible powder on your skin so much. So yeah, let's give this one a go. You just want to mist it over your face, and it says to use an X and then a T shape. So let's give it a go. That feels really nice on my skin, actually. It feels really hydrating and cooling. It doesn't smell like alcohol, and it's paraben-free. Oh wow, that's really made a difference, actually. Yeah, my skin already looks way less powdery, and it didn't look particularly powdery to begin with. It just looks really, really, really good now. So yeah, first impressions, I definitely recommend trying that one out. So I'm gonna go put my mascara and lip stuff on, and I will be back in a moment. So this is the finished result with my mascara on, my lips done, yeah, everything. I've even brushed my hair, yay. Though it might not look like it. As you can see, if I scooch closer, hello, yeah, the result that I've ended up with is really natural looking. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so that you don't miss any more videos from me in the future. Keep on being your awesome, gorgeous, chronically fabulous selves. If you have any questions about this foundation routine or anything related, or there's anything else you'd like me to do a tutorial on, like this eye look or how I do my brows or anything like that, let me know in the comments and I will be more than happy to do that. I've really enjoyed doing this tutorial for you guys. I hope you have a fantabulous week and I shall see you in my next video. See ya.